Good morning. It's Wednesday, the 1st of July today, and welcome to this video from Yoker Evangelical Church. In this video this morning, I want to take a look at a verse from Psalm 126, which we read in our quiet times, and that really challenged me this morning and that encouraged me in my Christian walk. So in Psalm 126, verse 3, we read these words: "The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy." Now, as I read those words, I can affirm that yes, the Lord has done great things for me, but then I struggle to say honestly that always in my life I am filled with joy. I find it difficult to be joyful a lot of the time, especially now in lockdown. My default position has become a bit more dreary. Now, for the Christian, this is a problem because we long to sing these words. We long to be filled with joy. We should be. It's one aspect of the fruit of the Spirit that Paul talks about in Galatians 5, that the fruit of the Spirit is joyful. And yet we find it tough, whether that is because we are Scottish and we are simply predisposed to being a bit miserable, or whether that is on a deeper level because we are forgetful of the truth. It is difficult for us to be joyful a lot of the time. These verses encouraged me by reminding me that it is the response of the grateful person, the one who has been rescued, to be joyful. Just listen to context that the psalm sets in verse 1. So it begins by saying, "When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dreamed." The context of this psalm is the captives returning. In Israel's history, the people at one point were conquered by a people called Babylon, and many of them were carried away into captivity for 70 long years. Now just reflect on what it would be like if an army came in and removed you from your home. If you were taken away from the places and the people that you loved and taken away to a strange land where you were made to work as a slave, and that you were there for 70 long, hard-working years. Imagine what it would be like on that day when you were able to come home, when you could return to the places that you love, the people that you love. That feeling of coming home, that sense of freedom, is what this psalm captures when it talks about the Lord has done great things for us. The people who returned from captivity in that day, it's difficult to imagine how they would have felt. Overjoyed is all that I can think of. And it must have been obvious to those around them that they would have been singing, dancing, smiling as they got to come home. They had had a great thing done for them. And it reminded me that as Christians, we too have had a great thing done for us. And perhaps the key for us to be joyful is that we remember all that God has done for us. That we can celebrate the things that God has done for us in the past. That He sent Jesus to die on the cross in our place. That we no longer have to face the punishment we deserve because of what He did. We can rejoice in that. That He shows new kindnesses to us day by day. That each day He meets with us through His word. We can rejoice today for that. And we can rejoice in what He will do in the future, the promise that Jesus will return. Christians can rejoice in all this because they know the great things that God has done for them. And that will fill us with joy. Now, I don't want to cheapen that. I don't want to say that Christians will suddenly become people who are grinning 24 hours a day and who spend a lot of time skipping around. That's not true. But they will be filled deep down with joy. They will be filled so that when trials come in their lives, they have this joy in God that fills them up still. That even when the world around us seems to be falling apart, Christians have a joy from within that celebrates all that God has done and will do. This is ultimately a song for saved people. And I hope that it is your song today, that you can say with confidence, the Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy. I hope that is your song today. God bless.